Oh, yeah. Wow. Ooh. Yeah. All right. Hey, look, it's Max. Hey, what's Max doing there? Cool, brother. All right. Let's get this show rolling. Howdy, howdy, howdy! Zachariah Scott here with another quick Source Filmmaker tutorial. And today we're going to be looking at one of my more complicated scene builds. I've shown this scene a few times, and I've been working on it, quite honestly, off and on a little bit for a long time now. I kind of nailed most of it pretty quickly early on, but I learned a lot of lessons, and I figured some interesting things out about how to best build this scene. And as the start of this tutorial series, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this whole scene down into how I built it, how I lit it, how you would work within it, like how you would light a character, how you would shoot a camera, and each of these will be its own separate tutorial. But this first one is dedicated to just kind of showing off the scene build and giving you an idea of some of the choices that I made and why, and showing some of the tricks as well. So, as you can see, this is obviously where Sauron from Lord of the Rings lives. Or it is a Star Wars hangar. Specifically, a hangar that one might find upon a Death Star or Star Destroyer, or any of those hateful against star objects. As you can see, it's a bit slow, but it's pretty big. I can fit a AT-AT in here, though I think he's actually a little bit small. This guy's proper size. If I were to spawn in a human, he would be really tiny. Well, not really tiny, but pretty small in the grand scheme of things. But if I pull the camera back and just let you see the whole scene, we can kind of look at a few things here. So, as you can see, it's quite wide. Yes, this is a very wide scene build. Totally intentional. I built this for widescreen. So that's fun. If you even check, zoom, 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 zoom. Okay. So this is a slightly tighter aspect ratio than the one that I originally built this at, which was 235, and this is like 239 or something. But right down to the width of the friggin' airlock thing. It's the same aspect ratio as the frame of the shot. So, like, right off the tip of the bat, I am building this thing such that the walls are the same aspect ratio as my camera. Cool. That helped. That was basically my starting point. All I knew was this thing had to be a box, and it needed a big hole in it. And I needed to figure out how big that hole was. Before we continue, I'll address the fact that, yeah, these are some Battlefront props. So these actual Death Star hangar props are from the 2015 game Battlefront. So, I stuck a lot of them together. And that's all I did. Yeah. No, it's a lot more than that. This is quite a complex scene. In fact, now that I've zoomed the camera around a little bit, floated, made you nauseous, I'm going to turn the lighting off so that we can get some actual speed here. That's a little bit better. And so let's go through things beat by beat. So the next thing you'll notice is, unlike a lot of things that you see in Source Filmmaker, the floor is reflective. What? Yeah, so I've had a lot of questions on this. How does the floor reflect? What's going on, Zach? What sorcery is this? Well, there's actually a map that was made by Source Filmmaker veteran Neri Juman, who graciously helped me out, and we put together a map that was essentially the water from Half-Life 2. I don't know if you ever played that game, but if you did, apparently you all forgot that game has real-time reflections in it. I didn't. So we built a map with a big reflective floor, and we just made it not all Ripley. And this reflective floor is actually purely mirrored. So if I can find the exact piece that I'm looking for, which I absolutely won't because there's a million pieces in here, but if I can find the exact floor piece... Oh, hey, there it is! All right, yeah. So if I turn the ground off, yeah, if you look at that, it's just a big, perfect mirror. It's a exact mirror, just using the water reflection stuff from Half-Life 2. There's some issues with doing this, using this technology. For one thing, ambient occlusion does not play nicely. It's a little bit difficult for me to explain, but as I move the camera along, you'll see, like, over here we have the ambient occlusion for this planet, which is on the opposite side of the screen. It's kind of flipped in a way that's useless, and it looks ugly. So that sucks, but I found a workaround. So if you're ever using this kind of a map and you want to use ambient occlusion, here's a little tip. Go into your render settings and do the show ambient occlusion mode and check it out. The ambient occlusion is now in the correct location. I mean, everything is, you know, white and such, but it's in the right spot. And so what we can do with that is we first render out the entire scene with no ambient occlusion, and then we render out the entire scene with only ambient occlusion. And then using the magic of, I don't know, Premiere or Photoshop or whatever the hell you want to use, we just blend the two together and we get our ambient occlusion map on top of our diffuse map. So it's a bit more of a pain in the ass, really, is the end of the day. Also, if you're ever on this, ever on this mirrored map and the reflection is not working on the floor, you can hit F11, and enter game mode, at which point you just need to run inside the map and you can leave F11 and the reflection will turn on. In this case it was already on, so you didn't see nothing, folks. So let's continue as I went along here. So I built this thing out and it was pretty basic. Like, I just had a big box. Oh, let me turn the floor back on. Oh, and just to address that here, so check that out. So the floor, so a lot of people intuitively think they should just make the mirror part partially reflective and then leave the floor part on top of it or underneath it. Actually, I found the best way to use these mirrored type floors is to have the mirror be perfectly solid and build your floor as a translucent plane on top of it. That's what I've done here. And as you can see, we can get some nice effects going here. You can kind of see the light is a little bit ripply there. It adds a bit of a thing. If I turn the lights on, you'll see the normal map indents it in places. So there's a crease there. You know, you can kind of see some detail projected on it. And so that's just a translucent thing on top of a big mirrored floor. And then the red lines are yet another layer that's just painted on red lines. I just drew them up in Photoshop and stuck them on the ground. But yeah, so then as I was building this map, okay, so that's the floor. Yeah, done. We're done with the floor. Okay, we got the door and the floor. Let's get these side things. All right, so cool scene building tip. You know what is a great way to make a solid hallway look cool is to make it not a solid hallway. So this used to look like crap. This whole scene used to look like crap. And the reason why is because these whole wall sections went all the way up to the airlock. And it just looked like the inside of a shoebox. It's just a box. That's a big old box. And so I said, screw it. And I cut out holes in the sides, stuck some scaffolds in, stuck some red lights, and boom, like everything suddenly just felt right. It feels a lot more interesting as a space. And actually, it's more accurate in terms of Star Wars set building as well, which is cool too. Let's see, other interesting things here as I go. Not really that much. I've built a little TIE fighter station here, and there's some other props back here. So if you check out the reverse angle, I'm not 100% done with this area. It'll be more customized to each set or shot that I'm using it for. But many Imperial hangars have this dugout kind of thing above it, and I've kind of replicated that here because before I did that, everything, again, looked like crap. It would be like staring directly into a gray-ish white box-ish thing. Yeah. So that's kind of that's what I've built here. So the last little detail that I'll cover is well, there's this neat little walkway. I like that. Team Fortress props. A lot of these things are props from other games that I've just colored white or gray. Like this is from Black Mesa. This is from Black Mesa. This is something off the workshop. These are from the Scene Build Mega Pack. It's really hard to find reference. What the hell? What is this? Why is that there? It's really hard to find reference. Why are you here? Go away. No. Is that you? No. God darn it. I'm coming back for you later, walkway. That pisses me off. Alright. It's really hard to, god damn it, find reference about what the hell it looks like on the top of an Imperial aircraft, like, hangar where the TIE fighters live. God damn it, that walkway messed me up. Gotta get back to my center. But I've kind of fleshed something out. I've intentionally not built this out to too much detail because I don't plan on using it that much, but I've built out the basic framework. So as you can see, I've kind of, it's not really nice up close, but, you know, from ground level, it looks like they've kind of got a system for getting in and out of the hangar, or in and out of the TIE fighters. But mostly I'm not going to be looking up. So I didn't really bother to do a whole lot there. Yeah, really, this is my hero angle, and, you know, I've detailed it around with, here's some wires on the ground. They used to be plugged into something. I need to plug them into something again. Yeah, so that's basically just a quick rundown of my Death Star hangar scene build and some of the choices I made in it. Yep, I based it off of concept art and screenshots from the various Star Wars movies. It's mostly that big hangar where Palpatine shows up. But there's a couple of elements that are there from when the Falcon gets caught. And if you're not a Star Wars super nerd, you should know there is a difference between a Death Star hangar and a Star Destroyer hangar visually. So, you know, I didn't screw up here. But, you know. It is how it is. It is. And I'm going to fill this out with more detail as I go. But, you know, when I turn on the lights, I'd say it looks pretty darn good. And that's without tuning the lights per shot and all that such stuff that you would do when you do a scene properly. But, yeah. So, there you have it.